Hello everyone, I'm LIER and this is an FNN News Break. In other news, a shipment of Jack Daniel's whiskey was tragically lost in a highway accident in Tennessee. The incident occurred last week when a shipping truck was overturned and the driver lost control. Luckily the driver was okay, but sadly the same could not be said for the $400,000 shipment of whiskey, as the highway was covered in copious amounts of moonshine. We at FNN would just like to acknowledge this incredible loss and have a moment of silence for all the toasts that will never be made, the drunken brawls that will never happen, and all the cokes that will need to be consumed without the Jack. In other news, many residents in Tennessee have been reporting cases of deer showing signs of unusual behavior, such as stumbling, vomiting, and disorderly conduct.
In wildlife news, a bear in California recently entered a 7-Eleven. While the clerk was startled by the unexpected customer, she did not immediately call 911 or animal control, as it was unclear what the bear's motives were. According to an anonymous eyewitness, the 7-Eleven employee insisted on giving the bear the benefit of the doubt that his presence there was completely innocent. Perhaps we could learn something from this incident. After all, how often do we make snap judgments only to be wrong and make bad choices as a result? How many times do we need to see innocent people wrongly accused and hurt because we misjudge them? If only more people would reserve judgment as this young woman did, perhaps the world would be a better place. Funeral services for the 7-Eleven employee will be held this Friday with a supersized Slurpee to be poured over her grave in her honor.
If you survive, please come again.
In other news, the first chili peppers have successfully been grown in space. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station grew the peppers as part of an experiment to see how feasible fresh food would be on long trips. To everyone's delight, the spicy space chilies added a fresh, festive flair to tasty tacos. Unfortunately, the Tex-Mex dinner could not have come at a worse time, as the SpaceX crew needed to return to Earth on a shuttle with a broken toilet. Of course, there was a contingency plan in place for just such an emergency. The entire crew was fitted with adult absorbent undergarments. Thanks to the dependable Depends, the return flight went smoothly, with the cuddly crew able to enjoy playtime, nap time, and only needing to be burped twice.
In ornithology news, conservationist group Forest and Bird recently announced the winner of their Bird of the Year contest, the tiny but tough long-tailed bat. While this may seem like an unlikely candidate, the New Zealand-based conservationist group decided to include the minuscule mammal in the contest in order to bring attention to the critically endangered species. Since the bat won by a landslide, it would seem that their mission has been accomplished and bats everywhere are celebrating. Unfortunately, this was not good news for the birds. Depression in the bird community has increased dramatically since the announcement. Bird abuse by bullying bats is on the rise, and most tragic of all is the story of last year's winner, who is this year's favorite, taking his own life by jumping off a tall building and not spreading his wings. Birdicide is expected to become the #3 bird killer in the world, after cats and windmills.
In other news, a Wisconsin man's ship has finally come in. After playing the same lottery number 4 years in a row, he just won the $25,000 a year for life jackpot. The lucky winner opted to go for the single payment of $390,000 rather than yearly payments for 20 years or the remainder of his life, whichever is greater. With a dramatically enlarged bank account, the wealthy winner and his wife are now trying to decide how to spend their money. Taking into account the current economy, the capitalistic couple figured they could either take a single trip to Disney World, enjoy dining out at Red Lobster for 3 months, or fully fill the gas tank of their SUV 4 times.
People need money! Lots and lots of money! We gonna print so much damn money, I'm gonna give every single American $1 million!
I'm LIER, and this has been an FNN News Break.